Hold it now.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you ready?
Let's go.
Recap. What is this, week 3?
Yeah, so
What's
we
new?
got finished with the second week of the season. Obviously, there's two teams that have only played one game. So Miami's 1-0, and
Tampa won too.
Tampa Bay's 1-0.
Yeah, so they're already batting 100. That's awesome.
Right, yeah,
That's
they
good.
can still go undefeated. The 2-0 teams we have are
and Miami's number 1 in the division, so that's pretty cool.
We'll see how long that lasts.
That's the first time in how long.
We got Pittsburgh and Baltimore both 2-0. I think the Baltimore one's kind of surprising. I wasn't really expecting.
Hey,
that.
their defense is pretty good. I picked them up. We'll talk about them later, but
their defense is great. But name 3 players on their offense you want on your fantasy team.
Oh, I know one, just one.
What?
Oh, maybe
Buck
2.
Allen.
Buck Allen, Terrence West. I mean,
those two. But the receivers
are
all awful. Even Jeremy Maclin sucks.
Mike Wallace was supposed to be good, but
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't pick him.
Pittsburgh, that's not surprising. Other 2-0 teams in the AFC, we have the AFC West is just stacked. Denver, Kansas City, and Oakland are all 2-0, and the Chargers.
Yeah, they are.
And the Chargers are 0-2, but they could have been 2-0. They've Mr. Young Ho Koo kind of screwed them up in both games.
You're diving in the rough.
I'm keeping them until they get cut.
Until he gets sent back.
Lost his job. Yeah, they're going to send him back to where.
Did they put him on the? Did they put kickers on the practice squad?
Maybe.
Right?
Or they'll hold 2 kickers or something. I don't know. None of those 3 teams are super surprising. I guess Kansas City, just because they beat New England the first week, people expected them to lose.
Are you more surprised that Chargers are 0-2? How about that? We'll do it that way.
Yeah, because I feel like the Chargers always start off strong. I feel like every season they start off 8-3, and then they finish off 9-7 or whatever.
They somehow just lose.
Yeah, they just go
like they take a game away from them. Right?
Their record ends
they'll win 8 games, and they're like, no, but you shouldn't have won that one. So let's just take that away from them.
But that division. I mean, the Chargers they're already in a hole, man. 3 teams with 2-0. They're 2 games back of 3 teams, so that's never fun.
And then Chargers and Colts and Browns and Jets all 0-2.
Jesus,
that's good. That's awesome. And then
none of those are super surprising. Cincinnati's offense has been way worse than I expected, but that's it. The rest of the AFC is kind of playing out how you would expect it to. NFC is a little bit different. We have 3 2-0 teams. Detroit was kind of surprising, and then Atlanta and Carolina. Atlanta's not surprising at all, but Carolina, especially the way they've played, is kind of surprising.
They're playing a little rough.
Yeah. They're kind of
they just threw
surviving.
together. They just threw together a game plan a day before. I'm pretty sure Panthers. And you know what? If I had to pick a second team, I'd be Panthers.
That's your second favorite?
Yeah, just because. I mean, I wouldn't call them my favorite, but if I had to root for a team other than the Cowboys, it would be them. Only because I lived there. I resided there for a year.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, see?
Yeah, they're going to be good. Atlanta's going to be good. Detroit, I still think Green Bay ends up taking the division, but I think Detroit's right there. So, and then 2 teams in the NFC, New Orleans, which their defense is just so bad. Their offense is decent. That hasn't really come together yet. I think when they get Willie Snead back, it'll help. But
you know who's showing up though? Now that he's gone, is my boy Kobe Fleener. But
Kobe Fleener has been good. You're right.
But we'll talk about him later again.
Yeah. And then Chicago's 0-2. They're awful. The Giants are 0-2. They look just terrible. And
it's kind of embarrassing, right? They have all those big names and Super Bowl champions under your Super Bowl
NFC
belts.
East in general just looks bad right now.
Yeah.
But it's only week 2.
Anyway.
It's only week 2. That's my whole theme of this episode is it's only week 2.
That's the name.
That's the theme.
Wait, no. It's only week 3 now.
Yeah,
but it was only week 2.
It's only been 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what you meant.
It's only been 2 weeks.
All right, so let's just get right into the news and injuries. The news. I don't really have much news. The only news that I had was just all the crap that Coach Garrett for the Cowboys was giving. Well, I don't know if he was receiving crap from the social media or from the news guys. I mean, what do you think about people? Coaches throwing, I don't even say they're throwing them out under the bus, but they're players under the bus. But how do you feel about when they call their own players out to national.
I think you have to be
media.
in the right. It has to be the right player. Well, it all depends on what.
What if it's a leader?
Purpose.
If it's a leader like that, if like this one in particular was the Zeke. Whenever they Dez slipped, the ball slipped out of his hands, and they picked it off. Denver picked it off, and then Zeke was probably about 5-7 yards away from the play, and he basically just turned his back and started. I don't even think he watched. I think he probably like glanced over and was like, "Oh yeah, they still have the ball," and then just
he started walking off the field.
Well, he just stood there for like it looked like.
He's
3
not
seconds.
the smartest human. He might have just been confused. Like, wait, what's happening?
He's like,
now?
we're supposed to go that way.
Yeah, I'm very confused.
I don't know what's
Why does the
going
wrong colored jersey have the ball?
But then the other thing was that you said was, did he start his his suspension already?
I'd kind of been waiting for that for the one game that he had a bad game, so I could use it. I could use that,
and he played it, and it was like perfect. But then I was gonna say, I mean, he's just trying to get a head start on the thing, or trying to show like good, like he's on good probation. You know, like whenever you go to jail, and you want to show like you're doing a good job,
exactly,
and so you can get off early.
Be flashy,
exactly. So that he was trying to say like, hey, I don't mean that much to this team or this league.
8 carries for 9 yards is
that's pretty terrible.
That was bad.
Anyway, that was it. Injuries. What do you got on injuries?
Biggest one by far was Greg Olsen. I mean,
that's bad.
Greg Olsen.
He just got put on IR.
He had played like way too many games in a row without being injured, without missing a game.
And if he could have missed a game, can you have done it like at the end of the season when you have no playoff hopes? Perhaps
it's so funny because people drafted Gronk and Kelsey and Jordan Reed, pretty high, knowing that there's that risk of injury.
And Jimmy Graham.
You draft Greg Olsen pretty high, knowing you have the stability of somebody that's going to be there.
He was probably the only guy.
Yeah, that you don't think is going to get hurt. And he's the only one that, of all the guys that got injured.
Him and Jason Witten are the only guys that I don't think will ever get hurt.
Oh, yeah. Antonio Gates, too. He used to get hurt.
Oh, yeah.
But
now he's just old. His body's breaking down.
I really think now that he got the record.
He's done?
Yeah. They'll be like, all right, see you later.
I think that's what it was, right?
That's part of it.
Because that was like, Phillip Rivers was like, oh, yeah, let's get you this, and then then that game, that's when Hunter Henry started getting more looks and targets.
I didn't give up on him.
So did you get? Okay.
I didn't.
I told you.
I didn't give up on him.
So Greg Olsen's out. So what do you think's going to happen there? Do we go like Kelvin Benjamin? His stock's going to go up.
I think, and I think Devin Funches.
You think so, Devin Funches?
I think Kelvin Benjamin's gonna be who he was. I think he was already a second tier.
What about
wide receiver one?
Biggest question was Christian McCaffrey. What do you think is going to happen with him? Do you think he's going to start stepping up? I think this stretch of like next 4 or 5 games looks pretty good for him as far as finally being able to break out of that.
They have to force the ball to him. They have to. The same thing with Joe Mixon. Both of those guys, you have to just force the ball to them. They're so talented. They're freak athletes. You just got to get the ball to them and then let them do things.
Let them run.
They use Jonathan Stewart so much still, and he still gets a goal line carry. So for like really high fantasy purposes,
do you feel like
McCaffrey's much safer in a PPR?
But do you feel like they use Jonathan Stewart still because they felt like an obligation? Like
they're comfortable with him.
They know what they're going to get.
Exactly.
Okay.
I just think as the season goes, a lot of the rookies are going to get more and more time.
Yeah. Jordy Nelson, he left with the quad strain. He's a 50-50 play.
Yeah, Jordy and Randall.
Randall said he's going to go.
They're both. See, I was actually pretty pumped about picking up that Allison guy. He's like their number 4 receiver for Green Bay. He's super talented. And I was thinking, like, man, if I actually picked him up on our league already.
Did you?
Yeah. He's like way down there. He's like 2% owned. Like,
I like picking up guys like that, which is what we'll get into later.
If Jordy and Randall both didn't play, he would have been the number 2 receiver for Green Bay, that's a great play. But I'm pretty much going to drop. I've had him for like 24 hours, and I will be dropping him because it looks like both those guys are going to be healthy. So, I mean, it's not good, that Jordan Nelson's already banged up because he's had a history of injuries. But I think if what they're saying is true, I think he's good. Yeah, I think
he's a shoe. Okay, because I was trying to think of ways of getting around of having to, if I didn't use him, because they don't have to release their thing until 30 minutes before the game. Their game's at 3:25.
Exactly. So you're gonna get locked in afternoon games.
Yeah, and then like a game on Sunday night. Who's playing on Sunday night? Oakland and Washington, those guys are all gone. Maybe Jamison Crowder I could pick up.
Yeah, that's
or something
true.
like that. That would be the only guy that I would think would be available.
Is it
maybe
Cordell Patterson?
He's the number 3 in Oakland.
Yeah, that wouldn't be a horrible pickup.
Yeah, it wouldn't be terrible.
Especially because he's gotten some pretty good.
But
returns.
that's the boom or bust.
Exactly.
Like you don't even know if you're going to get that kind of production out of him. So and then the following day there's a Dallas and Arizona. All those players are kind of taken.
Yeah.
They're either taken or you don't want to take them.
Yeah. You can probably find some Arizona receiver that could have a big game. Well,
the only guys that are available now is Jerron Brown, not John Brown.
Yeah, I know.
But
Isn't
it's
that funny?
Jerron.
They just have to have a Jay Brown on their team.
And a J.J. Nelson. But that J.J. Nelson guy is tearing it up.
Yeah, he's good.
Anyway, all right. So Danny Amendola, is he coming back? He's a concussion.
I don't think he'll be back this week. I think they'll take their time with him.
Yeah, right. Because they're not playing anybody that's Houston.
I mean, they're playing a good defense, but Danny Amendola isn't gonna
win
or lose regular season games for you, but he could definitely help you win the Super Bowl. So it's want to keep him healthy.
Dak sprained his ankle. He's fine. Randall Cobb, he's fine. Jimmy Graham, his ankle's twisted. He's uncertain that he'll play.
I think he'll play.
You think so?
I think he'll play, and I think that whole offense is going to just bust out at some point. I think they're going to just...
So you just hold on to these guys?
I don't think there's any... except for the running backs, you got to kind of... Which we'll talk about. But the receivers you have, tight ends, and Russell Wilson, I think you're good to go with all those guys.
They play at Tennessee. Bradford, he's playing.
Well, and it's not just Bradford. It hurts, man, because I have Stephon Diggs in a couple leagues.
I have
you have Thielen in a couple leagues, and even Kyle Rudolph. You're going to play.
I have Kyle Rudolph. Yeah, I'm going to play him anyway
because he's one of the stud tight ends. But it's like so hard. And even what's his name looked good. Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook looked good even without.
You'll play Dalvin Cook and you'll play Rudolph no matter what. But who do you want to play for your receivers? I won't.
It was tough.
I put them down and I only got 4 points, 3 points out of Thielen. So I think I made the right decision.
But if he's back, man.
Yeah, if he's in there, then you put Diggs in and Thielen in confidently. That's for sure.
So then I talked about this whenever we were drafting. I'm like, I'm gonna go and take Gronk in my league. Just risking it, like if he has a good season and he stays healthy, awesome. If he gets hurt, well, it is what it is. Sure enough, I see that hit and I'm like, great, he's gone.
Oh yeah, I texted you. I was like,
awesome.
Yeah, all I said was, oh man, Gronk or something like that. And you're like,
great.
what the?
But apparently I think he's gonna play this week. So
he's gonna be fine.
That's cool. But it went tight end nuts this week.
He's on that Tom Brady diet, so he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
A lot of tight ends were injured. Even Jordan Reed, who I didn't put on here, but
Jordan Reed also.
But that's just a given. You should see him.
Kelsey, they said something about it. He has like a bruised knee.
I think you should just assume going forward through week 16 that Jordan Reed is going to be injured.
He's going to be hurt. Yeah,
he's every week.
You'll have one game where he gets.
I don't want to waste my breath.
Fantasy points, and then one where he gets 1 because he gets hurt.
Yeah, and then he gets taken out. And the same thing goes for Luck. I'm not going to talk about him anymore. Coleman, Cleveland.
I think they said today he was out for the year.
Yeah, he broke his hand.
Yeah.
So pickups, we'll get to that in a little bit. Deshaun Kaiser left with a migraine. Those are no joke, but he'll be back next.
And apparently he's had a history, like a history of him growing up and stuff.
Oh, that sucks.
People were saying it could have been a concussion symptom because that's part of you can get migraines from concussion, but that he's had them for. Before, and he's just usually managed them really well.
The longest migraines usually last was like 2 to 3 days at the max. Yeah. So he should be fine. I had one this morning. Fun fact. DeMarco Murray.
That's good. He scares me. I have him in one league of my 3, and he scares me.
Yeah,
I was a second round pick, and I think one, he's banged up already, and I think. The more Henry plays, the more he's going to take.
He looked banged up like last season.
It's like.
But he still kept running like hardcore, which is pretty.
So
impressive.
He scares me. But yeah, it wasn't a horrible week for injuries, other than the tight end position just kind of got wiped out. But if everybody comes back, you don't have to worry too much. And there's the good thing about tight ends, though, if you're looking for a tight end, is there's always somebody you can stream.
You can stream tight ends like crazy.
Yeah. So it's not the worst.
And then another good tip is just because you're playing on a Yahoo app or ESPN or whatever that you're using, don't always go off of what that ranking gives you for that. You go out and do your because I'll check some for Yahoo because that's the one we use. It'll say like Kobe Fleener's his opponent is like ranked 10th or something like that. But then I'll go and look at my other one at someone else's and it's ranked 3rd.
And the projected stats too. It's like it said for this coming week, Pirine from Washington, who got 20-something carries this past week, is projected to get 3 points. And I'm thinking, if you get 20-something carries, you're going to get, you know what I mean? Like,
you'll get
their
more
projections, and they do change their projections as the week goes, but
then it's kind of hard.
Really
we'll do what you did for draft days, where you took. I mean, I don't know if you want to get that serious about it, but you took a couple of them, 2 or 3, and then kind of like averaged them out a little bit. So if you want to get serious and start doing that, just have your 2 or 3 favorite little websites or whatever.
And before we get to the waiver wire, I actually is part of it. So kind of now that we're into the waiver wire, I think this not only for who you're going to pick up, I think this is really a good time to target players you think are starting off the season bad but could be really good. One of the guys that I like for that is Joe Mixon. I would be willing to give up a pretty decent receiver or running back for Joe Mixon, even though Joe Mixon has 8 total fantasy points this season.
Because he's going to
be really, really good when he gets the chance, and so
or else people are going to start losing their jobs, like the guy did.
Oh, exactly.
Last week,
and then you also can sell high on people. Like I have Todd Gurley, he's my top running back. Kind of nervous about giving him up, but he has such a tough schedule for a good stretch. And it's like if I can get
someone that's equal to
or that has a better matchups and all that. So it's really this is a good time when people are going to start overreacting. Just like in our league, you were able to pick up Cam Newton as just a free agent.
I did that with Cam Newton and Kirk Cousins. So at the moment, I have 3 quarterbacks, which
it's hard.
Generally, I don't usually carry that.
The best will be they all score 21 points. And you're like, you know what I mean?
Every
time. Doesn't matter which one you play.
I don't know.
So who's your like biggest waiver wire pickup for this week?
Who I've been picking up and who I've been YouTubing the shit out of is Rashard Higgins.
Yeah, the dude's talented.
If you YouTube him, like the first minute is just him staring at a camera and there's a bunch of like hip hop music going on. But then if you just stick through it, there's some good stuff on there, man. He's a very talented receiver. So he's going to be the number 1 for Cleveland now that Coleman's gone and Kenny Britt is whatever. He's looking...
Sucks.
He looks like Kenny Britt. You know what I mean? So Rashard Higgins, I'm picking him up. Whenever I was picking him up, at the time, I think he was at 2% owned.
Yeah.
And that was in my Yahoo.
And that's just the thing. I mean, I'm playing in 3 leagues. All 3 are 10-team leagues, so I don't play any of the really crazy ones because in 16-team leagues, a lot of these guys we're going to talk about again, and I'll say this each week, is a lot of these guys are going to already be taken, like when we get down to Carson Wentz. Carson Wentz in a 16-team league is somebody's starter.
Yeah, he's gone already.
And so in ours, we have a deeper bench, and we have a deeper pool of players, so we don't have to reach quite as far, but finding a guy like Higgins or even Carson, which I accidentally drafted, remember when we couldn't get it to work right?
Oh, yeah,
That's who I drafted. And we all laughed. We're like, who the heck is something Carson? That's the guy I picked, who is now going to be the starting running back for the Seattle Seahawks.
Is he still on your team now?
No. That was, remember?
I know, but yeah. I see.
Yeah,
it messed up in the first time.
Picked up.
Okay, so Carson, the running back for Seattle.
Carson's getting the bulk of the carries. My thing is, I feel like it could be a New England situation where you don't know what's going to happen week to week. You know what I'm saying?
But Mike Gillislee's going to get the ball.
Exactly. He's going to get the goal line. So I think he's still waiting to see with Seattle, but Carson's not going to be there so you got to pick him up now. Same with J.J. Nelson. He's
gone already.
He's their number 1 option, but
he's gone already. I kind of wrote this kind of late, but J.J. Nelson is gone. But if you can maybe get a trade or something going for him, just because who do you got on that team?
No, yeah, he's got to get points. I mean, that's how I feel about a lot of teams. We were kind of high, but we didn't get too crazy with, what was it, not Carlos Williams. What was the dude's name, the running back?
Kareem Hunt?
No, for
Carlos Hyde.
for Arizona after Johnson got hurt in week one.
Kerwin Williams?
Yeah, Kerwin Williams. Last week we talked about him a little bit, but weren't too high on him.
I wasn't going to go.
And he's he's going to be sharing carries with Chris Johnson and somebody and
if you look at Andre Ellington's stats, he's getting the bulk of the tosses.
Exactly.
And stuff like that. So
you never want to completely overreact.
Yeah. So I'm not dropping him. I mean, I'm not picking him. I'm
not saying. And so our next one we have is Thompson from Washington, but then you also have Pirine from Washington. Yeah, Thompson catches the ball, Pirine's going to get the carry.
But then that goes for PPR. Sure, Thompson, you go for him, and then Perrin, you get him in your stud league. I mean, in your standard point, and then Rob Kelly, he's out. And plus, even if Rob Kelly was available, I wouldn't get him anyway.
He's fat Rob, man.
That's just me. Jermaine Kearse, he's the number one wideout for.
Man, he had a big week, and somebody, I'm sure he's already picked up, and somebody's going to be happy to start him, but I wouldn't have picked him up even if I had an open spot.
No?
Nah.
Okay, good.
Well, I mean, look, in our league, we have free agents right now, wide receivers. We have Marquise Lee from Jacksonville. I'd rather have him than Jermaine Kearse. I think he's the best Jacksonville receiver without Allen Robinson. Rashard Higgins, he's a free agent in our league. Kendall Wright for Chicago, he's looked like crap, but I'd still probably rather have him than Kearse. Tyler Lockett from Seattle had a good week. Let's see.
So you'd pick
Kenny Galladay. These are all guys I'd rather have than. But Kearse had that one big week, so people are going to flock to him.
Right.
They're going to just.
I'm just going to waiver wire.
No, I don't blame you. He's probably.
But I mean, you kind of want to just
of receivers. He probably has the most ads in Yahoo.
Fan it down. You just got to fan the flames down a little bit.
Exactly. Don't get too
come back.
Confident.
Snap back to reality. Yep.
You know what? You're in my league, but you have 3 quarterbacks, so this isn't going to be an issue for me against you. I have the next one we have here is Simeon. I actually might pick him up to play him this week because the only quarterback I have is Jameis Winston. I'm sorry, no, this is in the PPR league. I only have Jameis Winston, and Jameis Winston doesn't have the greatest matchups coming up.
Yeah, I know that's why I had to put my Jameis Winston guy to the side.
Yep,
because it does not look good.
I think I'm going to stream quarterbacks for a couple weeks.
That's what I'm doing, and I just got 3.
So. Yeah, so I think Jameis Winston.
Yeah, because they're playing at Buffalo.
Yeah.
So and it's not like freezing cold, and even then they play in cold weather. And
exactly. So
and he's riding this high, so I would assume
the best quarterback that was a free agent was Carson Wentz.
I think they're going to get knocked back down to reality whenever Oakland comes to town.
Oh, with Denver? Yeah, but see, the thing is that it'll probably be a high-scoring game because Oakland's defense has been bad.
They have been, right?
Yeah. And Trevor Simeon's look good. So this, I'm trying to trade Emmanuel Sanders right now for a running back, but I might actually keep him for one more week because if he goes off against the Oakland defense and he has back-to-back, 20-point fantasy games, I could really sell him.
Yeah, so you can use Kirk Cousins this week too. He's playing at home against Oakland, and he's looked terrible. So he's looking for a bounce back game also.
Yeah. So
that was another guy on. Well, I mean, I don't know if he's going to be available. But that goes more to the start.
So this is one of my favorite things. So in the fantasy, in our league, which is a half-point PPR, everything else is standard scoring. The top 2 scoring quarterbacks for the season so far. You want to guess who they are? Just one of them. Try to guess one of the 2.
It's either Carson Wentz,
nope,
or Simeon.
Trevor Simeon's the second highest for the season.
Oh, and the first number one. It's Jared Goff. I'm just kidding.
He's been good, though, man. No, he really has looked good.
Decent.
And so there's a stat.
Are you basing it off of average or just the amount of points?
Total fantasy points for the season so far.
I was going to say because...
Average is probably different because the other one
the 2 guys,
the other one that's there had a huge week 1. Yeah. Alex Smith, he's leading the league
exactly.
right now. It's only, and again, it's been two weeks, so
it's only been 2 weeks.
But it's just funny in our league.
Every show's going to be named. It's only been 6 weeks. It's only been 18 weeks. It's only
been 12 weeks, and I still didn't make left.
Don't jump to conclusions just yet.
So, our friend Mario, who does more research than any other person that I know on fantasy sports. He does it mostly for daily, but he does it for season long as well. He uses a stat called air yards. I think that's what they call it. And so these dudes that do this for a living, they find these huge trends, and one of them is that just quarterbacks that air it out, right? Granted, they could not be the most accurate people in the world, but if they air it out, that means that they're willing to go for it.
Fucking Blake Bortles.
Oh yeah, Blake Bortles at the end in fourth quarters. But the one that has the most air yards is Jared Goff.
Is he really?
Yeah. So So Mario.
Well, because he has his BFF there, the Cooper Cup.
I know, man.
They're BFFs.
And Sammy Watkins is a baller.
He is
good.
too.
He's legit good.
And then you have who's their tight end? Doesn't matter.
No.
Anyway, so who's the number one?
Alex Smith. Alex Smith's the number one, and then number two is Trevor Siemian.
Oh, because it has the first.
Because it's combined for the first 2 weeks. This past week, it was the same game, so Brady and Breeze.
Okay.
They were 1 and 2.
But the real average, it would be Trevor Siemian over these last 2 weeks.
Yeah, exactly.
The more consistent.
Trevor Siemian this past week had 30 fantasy points. And the first week, he had 27.
Wow.
That's crazy, man.
You should get him.
I really might plan for this 1 week, for this game.
I would.
It's against Oakland.
I would, but I have 17 quarterbacks.
Yeah. Too bad you can't start 4.
So I don't have that opportunity. And then Wentz, of course, would be a good pickup too.
Wentz is legit. I think he has three touchdowns both games so far.
Wow.
He's gonna get points.
Tight end.
Yours is Colby Fleener, which I think he's the best one until Snead gets back. I think when Snead gets back, it'll change a little bit.
You think so?
And if they
sustain that,
I don't. And especially if they start getting their running game going, I think that it hurts them. But the thing about any New Orleans
he's got a touchdown in both games.
Yeah, the thing about any New Orleans position player is they could get 2 touchdowns in a game because it's that offense. Yeah,
whoever brought on breakfast that morning,
pretty much. But Jack Doyle for Indianapolis has been really good this past week, and what's the dude that just came over as their quarterback? Brissett, yeah. If he stays the quarterback, it's already shown that he likes throwing it to him, so he's going to get catches from him. And then when Andrew Luck comes back,
that's his dude anyway.
Yeah. Further high. So yeah,
old
Doyle's definitely.
So you need to go get him now, basically.
If you want Doyle, yeah, and he's there. This is definitely the
start him. I'd start him. Anyway, so and streaming defenses. Whenever I was looking through my leagues and stuff. A lot of these teams weren't owned yet, these defenses. Defenses like Cleveland, Miami, even though they're coming out, it's just one game.
Sure.
But they're always statistically supposed to be good.
Coming week, they have a good matchup. I can't think of it off the top of my head.
And then Baltimore, Indianapolis, and Cleveland, they're both playing each other. Well, it's like they're going to knock each other out at the same time.
Yeah, they're not. Neither team's going to win. They're going to tie 0-0.
Exactly.
I think the Colts defense is actually good. I mean, it is.
The Colts defense are good because Vontaze
Davis is back.
Vontaze. Yeah, Davis. Yeah. Isn't he back, right?
I think so. But yeah, their defense is just pretty good. But I think streaming defense is the way to go, man. Like, it's so hard.
I try to get attached to Arizona because that's who I picked at the beginning, and I picked them in all 3 of my leagues. But after a game, I had 4 points in each, and I have a PPR league, so the points are a little bit higher on defense. And I'm just not all about it. So
I'm the same way. I have the Panthers in your league. It's the one I concentrate the most on, and it's they're a defense I thought I was just going to keep and play the whole year, but it's this week they don't have a good matchup, and like you said, there's 4 or 5 teams that I could pick up that I think are going to have better matchups. So I might just cut them and be whatever. I'll pick up somebody each week.
And that's what I did. I dropped Arizona defense for Cam Newton, my pickup.
Yeah,
I thought was a pretty good job on my part. So I was patting myself on the back. Anyway, so you want to go to our next one?
Yep, let's do it.
Sits and starts.
But they are who we thought they were.
I have question marks by these characters. You want to tell me, would you sit or start them? Jordan Reed. Tight end for the Washington
Jordan
Redskins.
Reed
is he a shoe-in
if
for every week?
If he is playing and he's probable, you play him.
You do?
Yeah. I mean, he's that talented. He's a freak. If he's on the field, you want to have him. He's a top 4.
Even banged up.
Yeah, he's a top 4 tight end. He just
because he hasn't been doing anything.
And again,
but he did get targets though.
Now, if you could if you think he's questionable and you can go get Doyle, or he's questionable and you can go get Fleener, well, you might go get the sure thing in points and get 8 points from Fleener and Doyle, But if you want the upside of 16 points, 20 points, you got to go with
if you can get to that, right? Basically.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta. It all depends on what that position means.
Yeah, in a standard point league, you got 3 points and 4 points.
Those are his first 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just think their offense is going to come around. Although,
yeah, and their bye comes on week 5, so it should probably help him a little bit.
even if they suck the next 2 weeks.
And then he gets a little bit more healthy, So
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. What do you think about Jimmy Graham?
I'm still high on him.
I looked up a statistic, and it's similar to Ben Roethlisberger, where he only goes off at home.
Really?
So if you look statistically at his numbers till last year, and then I think a couple games before, if he wasn't hurt, the double-digit games points scored are at home. So,
yeah.
He's not playing at home this week.
I'm not giving up on any position Seahawk player except for the running backs that you're guessing on. I mean, Carson's probably the way to go.
If you can get a Doyle or somebody like that,
I still think they're safer. Jimmy Graham has a bit more upside.
Right.
I mean, that's just the way that is.
But if you have better matchups on a say wide receiver, definitely I would go for a safer bet.
Oh sure. Like I'm not gonna put in Jimmy Graham as my second tight end in a flex spot.
Yeah. Okay.
I just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
With either Reed maybe. Like if I somehow somebody in our league, I don't remember who.
Jimmy Graham is like 31, 32.
Isn't that weird? Yeah.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. Someone in our league drafted 2 tight ends in like the first 5 rounds. Took like Kelsey and I think Jordan Reed, Pablo.
Yeah.
And so if that's the case and you have 2 studs and they're healthy, you're going to play them. Also based on
because you're always going to have 2 wide rreceiers, 2 tight ends,
exactly.
and 2 running backs, which is good. So what do you think about Cam Newton? I brought that up earlier.
He's too talented, man. I mean,
right? I mean, he is a pretty superior athlete. He's already Heisman.
The reason he finished top 3 or 4, whatever it was, 2 years ago, was because of how much he ran, and he was just so safe before because of how much he would run. And it's like they're making it a point for him to not run. Like they don't want him to run. But I just think as the season goes and the games get more and more important, and
he's gonna run.
He's gonna run. That's who he is. And so yeah, I think he might not be the best player. He might not be the best matchup this coming week.
But is he? Actually, no. It is. He is. He's playing Saints. He's playing the Saints defense. Over the last 6 games, 2 of those games, he scored at least 14 points.
Against who?
Against the Saints.
Oh shoot, yeah.
And the other 4 games, they were 30 to 40 points. So I mean, and he's never gone back to back poor games against the Saints. So it's either he always bounces back or gets smothered the next game. If that makes any sense.
He has total for the year so far. He has 29 fantasy points.
Yeah, and then
McCown,
Trevor Siemian got that in week 1.
Yeah, McCown, Goff, Bradford with 1 week, Taylor all have more fantasy points than him this year. But you're right. I mean, the New Orleans matchup alone is worth this week. I mean, that's an elite matchup.
So yeah, I mean, I'd start him this week if you had him, just statistically. And he even started talking crap about himself, saying he did a poor job. He's missing targets. He needs to step it up a bit. So I'm high on someone talking crap about themselves, trying to psych themselves up. You know what I mean?
I like that too.
So if you can own it, then I'm all for it. So I'm going to start Cam Newton. What do you think about guys like Isaiah Crowell?
The Browns just suck. The Browns are so bad. It's like he's a good enough running back if they just gave him the ball and they somewhat try to block that he should in 20 carries he should get close to 100 yards. But you just have no idea what that offense is going to do. It's crazy.
And his defense, the defense was stronger. Like they're playing Pittsburgh.
Yeah, no, you're right.
And Baltimore. I mean, those
two of the best defenses.
Yeah, and then now they're going to play Indy, who has a pretty solid defense. But the next 3 games after that, they're playing Cincinnati, Jets, and Houston, who does not surprisingly doesn't have that great of a run defense, and then Tennessee. So I mean, He can.
Shoot, yeah, he's a guy that after this week, if he has another bad game, to try to trade for him.
Exactly.
Buy him low.
Yeah, so in weeks 4 through 6, he'll get you those stud points. So try to get him now. I guess just keep looking for the next few weeks because it's a long season.
Yeah, he's projected in there. Right around for all the flex spots, wide receiver, running back, tight end. He's projected to be like the 50th highest scoring player, which
there's a lot of people in the.
It's like there's no free agent in our league that's projected to score more than him. So I mean, he's definitely a decent start. I mean, you could try to go crazy somewhere else, but the other thing too about running backs, he's a starting running back.
And he gets production numbers. It's all about production.
I just hate the Browns.
And then what about Dez? Has he lost his elite status?
Yes, he's not an elite receiver anymore. He's not a
whose
top
fault
5
is that?
receiver.
Is that his own fault?
It's like a thing. You're only elite for so long. I mean, it is what it is. He's slowing down a little bit. I mean,
how long has he been in the league? Like 6 years, 7 years?
That's what I'd guess.
He's had a few injuries, a few mouth offs to people.
Tony Romo was a slinger. He was going to throw the ball down the field crazy. So Des Bryant always had that chance to get a 60-yard touchdown. Dak's a lot safer with the ball. That's just the way he is, and I'm sure that's the way the Cowboys want him to be. He's not gonna. His interception was on a crossing route for an 8-yard crossing route. That was tipped. It wasn't like he was throwing it up for grabs way down the field.
I didn't see the last interception, pick six.
That last one was more his fault, but
he was trying to force it.
Yeah,
that's a last minute.
He was trying to score a touchdown or whatever. It was.
So do you count those, or is it like that thing where, or if you didn't throw any touchdown passes, you wouldn't have had any touchdowns, or if you didn't throw any interceptions, you would. So you count all of them.
Yeah.
But that one's more forced than anything.
But I think Dez is gonna always be have a chance to score 12, 14 fantasy points. He's a safe guy to have. He's just not an Antonio Brown, Julio Jones.
Do you try to sell him now? Try to trade him? Now that he had a decent game,
had a pretty good game. If you could get a second string running back, or not second string for their team, but like a second tier running back, I would trade him for that. I wouldn't. There's not many number 2 receivers I would trade him for. I would trade him for Michael Crabtree, but I don't think anybody's going to do that. I can't think of another. I would trade him for maybe like Devontae Adams. I would.
Do you think he's at that level?
Yeah, I think he's in. He's still a good guy. He's still a good receiver. He's in that mid tier. He's like a.
It's just the plays.
If each team has 12 everybody starts 2 receivers, so there's 20 receivers in our league starting for sure. If they don't start any receivers in flex, he should be right in that top 20. That's where he's at. He's just not in the top 8 or 9, which is probably
definitely.
where he was drafted.
Right.
So that's the only difference.
Yeah, you're right. All right, so do you have any more sits or starts?
I think I'm good.
All right, so do you want to go to Pick'ems?
Let's talk about last week.
Holy crap, I don't know who the hell we think we are when we do something like that.
All right, so just go over the numbers right quick. The Pick'ems that we had were Matt, what was it? You and I both went for Cincinnati. We both lost.
Cincinnati game we lost. I had 4 and you had 3, but man, Cincinnati gave that game away. I was pissed watching it.
Dallas and Denver. We both split on that. You got 5 points.
I did.
No. You got 1 point.
You went Dallas with 5.
You got 1 point. I got Dallas with 5.
I went
Denver. I was a little confident. More than a little. I was like super confident. But I don't know I don't even want to talk about that game. Washington. We both went for Washington. Only you did 5 points. I got 4. We split on Green Bay and Atlanta and Giants. We both picked Giants to win. I lost only 2 points, but you lost 3 points. And the grand total is Matt Mayfield beat me. If you're doing the adding of the positives and the negatives, you get 1 point.
Positive 1, baby.
Positive 1, and this is my gift to you, whoever's listening. Is that if you want to win a game or win pick'ems, so whatever game I pick, you do the complete opposite, and you will be a dynasty.
You'd be rich. If you did bet $100 on every game.
Yeah,
just do the opposite.
Do the complete opposite of me, with the exception of the Washington Rams, which that actually was like a nail biter.
It really was. I mean, the Giants and the Dallas Detroit Denver game wasn't close, but going into it, it was definitely one of the closest ones.
Yeah.
I'm picking. Cincinnati Houston was a close game. Green Bay Atlanta was not, but Green Bay could win that game anytime. We do not pick the easy ones.
No,
right?
I don't. So
real quick though, before we get into this week's pick, I do a pick 'em with my brother and a bunch of his buddies.
Oh yeah, I'm supposed to get into that.
Yeah,
I forgot.
So I actually won this week, and I made all these same picks. The only one I switched was I took Monday night. I took Detroit and put like 3 or 4 points on it. So going into last night, I was down by 3, and I had 4 on Detroit. And so if Detroit won, I won. But if the Giants won, Danny, who's a huge Giants fan, would have won. And so it's like I actually.
So you had to.
I needed that one. So. Yep.
So did you get money right then and there?
I mean, my brother owes me $60.
Oh,
so,
nice.
Yeah, it was nice. So I'm already net even for Pick'em.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, not in this league.
No,
not in this
not
podcast.
In this one. Not at all. Not at all.
All right. So the pick'ems for this week, of course, like we said, doing Thursday night games, a couple of noon games, Sunday night games, and of course a Monday game.
Yeah, we got to add an extra one this week because Dallas is on Monday Night Football.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we have for Rams at San Francisco. That's a Thursday night game.
So that one has the Rams are actually a 2-point favorite on the road at San Francisco. I hate this game. I think I just
give me the boringest game ever.
Anything about this game that I like other than I have Todd Gurley, so I hope he does well. The Rams D looks pretty good, but I don't trust the second year Goff on the road. I think that he's going to make some mistakes, kind of regress a little bit after having a couple decent games. So I'm actually going to take the home dog, San Francisco, and give it 2 points.
Are you really?
Yes, sir.
All right, 2 points. I'm actually going complete opposite. I'm going to go Rams. And I'm going to do 2 points as well, actually. Because I already figured out all my stuff. With the exception of this next game.
Oh, thank you. Next one we got is Tampa Bay at Minnesota. This is a noon game. And again, it's one we just picked because it looks good.
It looks like a good game.
Like a good
because
game.
they're not young quarterbacks. But they're both Heisman winning.
That's true. So this one is tough to pick, especially today.
And have good wide receivers.
They do have good wide receivers
on both ones and twos.
So this is we're filming we're recording this on Tuesday, right?
Tuesday
so this
night.
is hard to pick. There's not even a line on this game yet because it all depends on Sam Bradford, right? So I even put that.
And that's another thing. Like we're picking these super early
on Tuesday.
Yeah,
that's why my pick changed from Giants to the Lions as the week went on.
A lot can happen, but. We wanted to try to get the waiver wires out as fast as can.
And we're not doing 5 podcasts a week to where each day we have a different topic.
So
but
we're putting our neck out there, doing this on a Tuesday night. And like I said, if you want to win, just pick opposite of yours truly.
Although this week we're going to have all the
same games.
Yeah, the different picks. So I think Bradford's going to play, which makes a big difference. I think that their defense is really good, and I'm gonna go with Minnesota at home. 3 points. 3 points.
3 points.
Yeah, the other games are hard too.
Wow. I'm gonna go Minnesota, but with only 1 point. Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Isn't that right, dear?
Gone home team so far for me.
Oh, okay then, hon. Did you watch a lot of Fargo?
Yeah,
no, I do. I do it all the time.
I haven't watched the last episode of the second season. Isn't that weird?
Really?
Yeah. I stopped the one right before that.
That's when the fucking UFOs come out.
That's what I hear. Yeah.
I mean, I don't think you see the UFO, but...
Is there 3 seasons out already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to do one just on Fargo.
It's
a podcast.
It is
just
good,
on
Fargo. Next one we got is the easiest one to pick, but we got screwed last time. It's Houston at New England. This is another noon game.
I'm going 5 points Houston. I'm just kidding.
I'm going 5 points New England. I don't got to talk about much.
Yeah, but it's because we said we're going to do Houston games
Yeah.
and Dallas games.
And
of
so
course.
nice. It gave us a little bit of confidence. We might get positive points.
I'm pretty confident.
We
right
did the
here.
same thing on week 1 with New England against Kansas City.
Yeah,
we
but
gave
this
5 points.
But this is
Yeah,
they have to
insane.
redeem themselves coming back home.
Oh yeah, and if Deshaun Watson as a rookie goes into New England with his second start and wins, he's going to win the MVP.
Right, you just stop the season.
That's it.
There's no more
Here
season.
it is. They just hand him the trophy.
Week 3 ends right now. So you're going to go 5 points?
5 points New England.
I too am going 5 points for New England because
So now people are going to be so confused. Like, wait, there's no way Houston wins, but they say to pick opposite of us.
yeah. Well, I mean that's an upset right there.
That's
that
true.
can be called the upset
They
of
need
the
to go
week.
Houston.
Right now, I'm not picking any upsets yet, which the last game could be
No,
an
you
upset.
did not pick an upset. Actually, oh yeah, because we don't have a line on the Tampa Bay game.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Game number 4, we have Oakland at Washington. That is actually the Sunday night game. What are you going to do with
That's
that
going
one?
to be a good game. I'm going to go straight just for Oakland, just because I think it's going to probably be a shootout, which I'm excited for. I hope Terrell Pryor, senior, tears it up finally, because he's looking like a can I say wet blanket?
Yeah,
It's
he
pretty
sucks so far, man.
pretty boring.
I was so high on him at the start of the season, too.
And so was I. I wanted to.
not giving
If
him
he
up.
was there, I would have picked him up.
Yeah.
Easily. In all 3 of the leagues, I would have picked him up. But he wasn't there in the 10th round. So, just kidding. That's when I would have picked him up. I'm kidding. No, I'm going to go Oakland, but 4 points, sir. Put me down for 4 points.
All right. And this is so Oakland's actually a 3-point favorite on this one on the road, which I don't like. I'm never one that really goes with the road favorites, especially with the 2 teams you don't really know for sure about. And Oakland's
you're
defense
playing
is
the
that-
capital.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know if that means
and
anything.
Oakland's defense has been pretty crappy, so it might be a breakout game for Washington. But I think Washington sucks. They don't have fat Rob Kelly. Jordan Reed might play,
Which
might
we
not
said
play.
you don't really even need.
And it probably would help Oakland if he played.
Yeah, exactly. Give him the ball. Give Rob Kelly the ball.
I just think Oakland's
Leave me
offense
alone,
is too
Marshawn.
good. And the Carter Crabtree so far has been freaking amazing. So
Yeah, and that was another thing. We picked Crabtree last week
yeah, that's right.
over as a start.
One of our like
Over
start
something
seven.
like that. We'll do that one again next week. That was fun.
I will take Oakland and give it 4.
That's the exact same thing I'm doing, Matthew Mayfield.
It's kind of scary.
We're not going to do...
Kind of scary.
I think the only thing that's going to separate us is obviously the Rams and San Francisco game.
And this last game,
And this last game's going to get us. You're already down for 1 point.
I am down
But
for
it's
1.
1 point for... Which way are you going? Dallas at Arizona on a Monday night football game.
So I started writing my notes down for this one, and I seriously wrote notes for Dallas. And then I'm like, nope, I'm going to go Arizona. I wrote notes for Arizona, and then I just scribbled them all out.
Tell me why you would go for Arizona. Just go... Don't tell me why you
playing
would
at
go
home.
for... Okay.
I think Dallas is in a little bit of a funk. I think they got some things to work out. I think that Dallas's defense is not as good as it has been in the past. I think
everybody's injured.
Exactly. They're pretty much playing with the second string team.
It's not really their fault. Yes. Well, yeah, it is, but
I think Carson Palmer is going to have a pretty good game against the secondary. So
because all you need to do is block Lawrence on the
exactly
on the one side. But that dude is a beast, man.
I just think that Arizona is injured, but I don't think they're a horrible team.
They're not as injured.
Exactly. Yeah. And so, but then Dallas.
I'm going with the Giants.
Yeah, I know. But then Dallas, do you have the comeback game? You know, do you have a team that's pissed off and mad and is going to come together and take over and go into Arizona and beat the crap out of them? I mean, this is the game where I could seriously see Dallas winning by 20 points. I could see them just blowing them out. But I feel like if it is a close, low-scoring game, I feel like Dallas is still going to butt heads a little bit more. I think there's going to be a bigger falling out before it gets better. And so I'm actually hoping it's going to be this week because I'm going to take Arizona.
All right. See, so it all comes back. All right, and of course I'm picking Dallas.
Yeah.
But it only how confident I am. That's what's going to change.
That's true.
That's the points that are going to change.
That's true.
I think, what was I at the beginning? I was at 5 and then 5.
No, I think you were 4.
No, I was probably at 4
Week
at the
one.
first one.
Because we had New England. So
yeah,
we're
yeah.
like, 5.
Yeah, that one is easily 5. and we easily lost that one. But yeah, okay, so we split Rams in San Francisco. We're both on the same page for Minnesota and New England and Oakland.
3 in a row.
That's 3 in a row. The only thing that changes is Matt's 3-5-4 and mine's 1-5-4. And then the last Monday night game, Dallas and Arizona, we split. I hope you crash and burn, sir.
I could be wrong.
It's oh, you know what? Like I said, whoever wants to win.
I'm just trying to double up my score from 1 to 2.
I'm just trying to get into positives. Or not
All right.
as negative.
So garbage time. We're going to make it quick.
Real
Last
quick.
week you were talking about your kicker thing, and if you really want to break it down, you beat me this week in my other league because of kickers.
Right.
Your kicker outscored me by 8.
I got you by your own medicine. You were like, I'm all about kickers.
Your
I'm
kickers
like,
outscored me by 8.
Yeah.
And you beat me by 7 point something. And that's crazy.
yeah. And I said, we don't need kickers. And then you're like, no, we do. And then look what happens. I just showed you.
So think if they had a whole... I would love somebody to do, and I'm sure somebody has. There's
You know, we can do it. It would just have to be done manually.
To do what? Take out the...
To what you're going to do.
Oh, yeah. I just think that with the kickers, just before we spend too long on the kickers,
we should put a timer on this. Let's just do 2 minutes.
Oh, it's a 2-minute drill. I like it.
2-minute drill.
2-minute drill. The kickers, it's... I would love somebody to do the stats and go through and see how many fantasy football games were decided by the kicker. Because I bet it's way more than anybody that's paying money to play fantasy football would ever want it to be. All right. So the real garbage time for the day
2 minutes.
is a fantasy league where you don't have players, you have teams. So I was listening to a podcast and they had I think it was like a 20-team league or 22-team league, something ridiculous. And since there were so many teams, you couldn't really draft quarterbacks so much because as soon as a quarterback got hurt, if somebody already had the backup, you don't have a quarterback to start. You could have no starting quarterback. So they have it where you just have the passing team. So if you pick the Green Bay Packers and obviously whatever Aaron Rodgers does fantasy-wise.
So you'll just say passing yards. Because there's some cases where wide receivers throw the ball.
Well, see, and that's what I would like it to be based on. So you're getting all the passing yards and passing touchdowns. But if Aaron Rodgers, or let's make it more realistic, if Russell Wilson ran for a 18-yard touchdown or Dak had another 49-yard touchdown, I would like that to be considered a running stat.
Yeah.
And so what I would have it so you could have the Green Bay.
But if you had Dallas, you wouldn't be picking Dallas QBs.
Not if you want the running stats. So running quarterback actually helps the.
Oh, so you're talking about doing it as far as doing it as a type,
a statistical position? Yeah.
Okay, not a position.
Exactly. Yeah. So again, you would look at rushing yards,
whatever quarterbacks do,
which I think would be so cool that if and I could be playing you in the championship game, and you have Dallas's rushers. I have Dallas's receivers, and for some reason that game Zeke has 180 yards receiving. It's like I actually we're both rooting for Zeke, but you're rooting for him to run the ball. I'm rooting for him to catch the ball.
That'd be crazy.
It'd be so cool. You're like we could be watching the same game and rooting for the same players, and you're watching it and like your team scores a touchdown but the wrong way.
So those shovel passes, you're like that's a handoff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. No, it'll still understand. Yeah. So
that would make it a whole new one.
And that's kind of my idea for a new fantasy league. That's 2 minutes?
Is that time up? Time's up.
That was pretty good.
That was good. Nice.
I practiced my speech.
You did. But no, I that would be fun as hell.
It'd be a fun league. I wouldn't want to have to do the stats by hand, but I'm sure somebody could put it together pretty easily.
I don't want to do that.
No.
Do you want to do that?
Hell no.
Oh, you just said no, right?
No, I'm thinking like Yahoo could do it or something.
Oh, yeah. Or you can look up something. All right, dude. Well, thanks for stopping by week 3. Good luck to everyone. And like I said, if you want to win, pick 'em. Pick against me.
Go Houston.
Go Houston. Okay, bye.
Hold it now.